very funny. It's been very funny over the last few days watching all these Joe Rogan fans get triggered by Neil Young pulling his music off of Spotify, while at the exact same time they pretend that they don't know who Neil Young is. Like they never saw a movie that had the 1960s in it. Kurt Cobain quoted Neil Young in his suicide note. So if you don't know who Neil Young is, I don't think I'd go around bragging about that. There is a Joe Rogan superfan out there, though. Who knows who Neil Young is? He remembers when Neil Young was the man. In fact, he was at the original 1969 Woodstock narking on people and fucking not getting pussy. And his name was Jimmy Dore. And here's Jimmy Dore attempting to defend Joe Rogan's disinformation campaign.
We're going to start off with our good friend Joe Rogan. Now, you know Joe Rogan gets 11 million views per show he does, which dwarfs all the rest of the media. And so they're going nuts that they can't control the narrative anymore. And so that's why they always trash Joe Rogan as some kind of extreme right-winger, even though he endorsed Bernie Sanders. That was part of it. That was the first part of it, right? And that's when the Democrats start calling him a right-winger. Isn't that funny?
Isn't that funny? Yeah, isn't it funny that Joe Rogan was labeled a right-winger because he endorsed Bernie Sanders? Because that's what Bernie Sanders is known for, his right-wing politics. No, it's the other way around. Little clever Jimmy. And you know it. Joe Rogan endorsed Bernie Sanders because he was labeled a right-winger. It's called a fucking publicity stunt, candy head. At the point, by the time 2020 rolled around and he endorsed Bernie Sanders for the primary, not for the general in which he endorsed Donald Trump, by 2020, Joe Rogan had been fully labeled a right-winger, mostly because of the things that came out of Joe Rogan's mouth, specifically regarding race science, Islamophobia, transphobia, anti-Marxism. Not to mention a research paper written by a nonprofit called Data and Society, which found that Joe Rogan was a gatekeeper, essentially, for the alt-right universe because of his guest list. He was making stars out of people like Steven Crowder, Milo Hippopotamus, Jordan Peterson, Stefan Molyneux. That's why he was labeled a right-winger. But nice try.
So he's none of the things they say he is. He's actually a thoughtful guy. And they've been calling for his...
You know, a lack of thoughtfulness is actually the fucking problem, but go ahead.
For him to be censored because he spread so much misinformation. And so if you watch this show, you know the biggest purveyor of misinformation is the government, Joe Biden, and the government. And then the second is the corporate media. That's why we have a show. We're here to debunk the corporate media.
Yeah, that's why you sided with the corporate media against teachers' unions like a fucking month ago, you lying sack of fucking trash.
They're always lying. And they're always full of propaganda. So someone was... So, you know, like when Sanjay Gupta from CNN went on Joe Rogan's show, Joe Rogan schooled Sanjay Gupta for 3 hours.
No, he didn't. I saw that, and he didn't.
And what you would think of it the other way, the doctor would teach the guy who announces guys fighting in cages.
You'd think the guy fighting in cages might fucking learn if he's going to fucking talk about shit that he knows nothing about. But, of course, he doesn't, because that goes against his agenda. And his agenda is to spread a virus in order to sway an election. Because that's how the last election was decided, in large part.
Oh, no, man. Oh, look at that. Oh, nice. Some of the booch. What? We forgot to turn on a light here, and now it's on. Oh, gosh. It looked fantastic.
Yeah, he looks fantastic. In his fucking ladies' blouse. You can't fucking see it because of whatever. But I'll put it in the fucking thumbnail. You wouldn't believe the fucking shirt this motherfucker's wearing, man. He robbed somebody's fucking grandmother for this fucking thing. He's wearing a lavender lady's blouse.
So Joe Rogan schools them, and if they want to have a fact checker on the Joe Rogan show, why don't you just bring the people that Joe Rogan has on his show on your show?
Yeah,
They
that's a
won't
great
do
idea.
that. So they've been passing
Yeah,
this
yeah. Why don't you
around.
bring Joe Rogan's guests onto fucking CNN? Why don't you bring Sargon of Akkad onto fucking CNN? Why don't you bring the Long Island medium? Maybe she can comment on Biden's infrastructure deal. I'm sensing that the president is distracted. I'm sensing that the president is distracted. I'm sensing a death in the family. Was there a death in the family? I'm sensing a B. A B. A B. Is there a letter B? A bill. A bill. A bill? A bob? A bob? A bow? A bow?